I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
We are live, fam. Here we go.
Rice TVX, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, Rice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he stores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice, the Pitbull, breaking the chain. In the arena where truths collide, Rice TVX, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in for the newest episode of the Rice Crypto Show on Rice TVX. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Kelly Kellam. Yeah. The founder, well, I shouldn't say founder, but the director of BitLab Academy. Make sure you smash that like button if you guys happen to be watching over on the X side. Those reposts definitely help. Again, make sure you smash that like button. Here we go. Real quick, before we begin, I want to encourage you, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you are subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed. YouTube, unfortunately, has been unsubscribing a large amount of people over the past few months. So make sure you are still subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Also, make sure you are checking out my sponsor, Presearch. I have information in every video description. Presearch is a decentralized private search engine with AI that rewards. All right, family, before we begin, let me go ahead and get this pulled up on screen. Make sure you join me. I'm going to be in Nashville the end of this month between the 24th and 27th for Litecoin Summit. I'm going to be moderating a panel, possibly doing an actual solo discussion at the Litecoin Summit. That is going to be the 24th and 25th of July. Tickets are only $84. I got an affiliate link in the video description as a way to support the channel. 2 days of Litecoin Summit for only $84. Now, the other thing is we have the Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin 2024, happening the 25th through 27th. And I was just informed that this Friday, all ticket prices, including the festival pass, will be increasing in price this coming Friday. You can use the discount code RICE at checkout, and that will get you 10% off. Rice at checkout, 10% off. There's also an affiliate link that will get you hooked up. Both links will be in the video description. Again, smash that like button. And let me go ahead and get myself on screen and bring in our guest of honor, Mr. Kelly Kellam. Thank you for joining me today, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel a little, I messed up. Yesterday, I was planning to bring a bunch of white rice and I was going to be eating a bowl of rice when he brought me up, because you know what? For people that don't know, anybody that's tuning in for the first time, that over from the BitLab, or if you got to realize rice is a fixture in the crypto scene, in the crypto space, not an influencer, but an absolute powerhouse of knowledge. And you know, sometimes I have to study before I talk to him, because this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm happy to be here.
You're far too kind, my friend. I appreciate you, though, man, and thank you again, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you in Nashville, the Discover Crypto crew, and the basement crew from the Blockchain Basement, and everybody else. You guys are going to have a media house, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. I saw Frankie Candles before we went live, so hopefully I can get him on the channel here soon. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing this, man. We talked about doing it, and we made it happen. I was kind of like slowing down on content a lot last year, and now that I'm back in the swing of things and doing things regularly, it came to my attention when you were commenting a couple of videos that me and Blood were doing. I need to get back in touch with Kelly. So appreciate you taking time to do this, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me. I look forward to it. No idea. Just so everybody knows, we don't, Rice and I and Blood, same way. We're not the type of people that we're going to plan out a conversation. We say, let's get on. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's dissect some things. Let's figure out where we can get some good lenses on the market.
Right on, man. Well, I mean, what I want to do, and I told you, like, for the first part of this, is get to know you a little bit, and then kind of dissect the markets, because that's what you do with BitLab Academy. That's what you're doing with your live streams, with your space that you're doing. So I think it'd be really good. And I know people are wanting to know what's happening with the cryptocurrency market. So before we do that, I got links down below for your X account so that people can follow you on X if they're not already following you. I've got links for BitLab Academy YouTube channel, and I have I have a link for bitlabacademy.com. Something that people may not know is BitLab Academy, before Kelly got involved, was actually one of the sponsors of Rice TVX.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Ben Armstrong back kind of in earlier Hit Network days, when when everybody was still cordial and working together, and before you had gotten involved, there was a sponsorship agreement that took place, and originally it was with BitSwap Dex, if you remember that. It was a Dex, like a Dex aggregator that they had, and then once they started to stop promoting that or stop utilizing that, whatever the case was, we switched over to BitLab Academy. So it's coming back full circle, my friend.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to see what it is you want to know, and also get some of your perspectives. I might be partially interviewing you, asking you some thoughts here as well. And just so everybody knows, Rice and I already talked about, he is going to be coming over onto the BitLab channel to drop some knowledge bombs here in the near future as well.
100%. We're definitely going to get that connected. Before we begin, too, the really oddest thing is I saw you live earlier, and I was in the chat. You shouted me out. You promoted the fact that you were going to be on my channel, and we've had a good deal of retweets. X is only showing 6 viewers, which I find to be really interesting, because generally I have a lot more than 6 viewers. So I'm not sure if there's something else happening, or if these numbers just aren't right, because it's showing a total of 15 viewers with 8 of them from YouTube and 7 from X. And I'm also streaming on Rumble, and there's 10 over there watching. So generally when I'm streaming, I don't have this low of numbers. I deal with a lot of shadow banning, but I found this to be interesting. So if you guys are watching, please smash the like button. Let's wake up the algorithm. If you're watching on X, please repost so we can get some more eyes on this interview. Kelly, before we begin and talking about the cryptocurrency markets, because I called the video Dissecting the Crypto Markets in the BitLab with Kelly Kellam. Who the hell is Kelly Kellam?
Oh man, that is a long look. We got 3 or 4 hours, right?
Sure.
'Cause this is
Can we get the condensed version?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a basically bulleted rundown. I was in the Air Force many years ago. Got hurt, medically retired. I broke 22 bones in an accident. Ended up in a coma for a month, hospital 3 months, casting crutches for 8 years. And then during that time, while I was casting crutches, I've always been a musician. I've always been a musician, but also like a basically online business. First business was back in 1995, writing websites, in fact. So I've always had a digital affinity, but I also love to shake my butt and play some music, you know? So the whole time I was doing all the music stuff, I also ended up going back to school studying anthropology at Columbia University, and was getting really heavily involved with a couple other things like cloud forensics. I mean, kind of a scatter shot with all the weird things that I've done. And while I was touring around playing music, I got... at that time, I had already been basically day trading traditional assets in addition to my music stuff. But I got introduced to Bitcoin in about 2014, 2015. And I think I did what the large majority of people do. And you got to be honest with yourself. Nobody heard about it. The very first second they heard about it, went and bought. There has to be some processing. And I did the same thing. It probably took me about 6 months. And then I was just like, I kept looking into it, and I initially dismissed it. That's magic internet money, right? And then I started looking into it. I was like, wait a minute, what a sculpting our government and mainstream media has done, that we can look at the thing that is the antithesis of magic money, which is US dollar. And now we say the thing that is true money, transparent, immutable, fixed supply, understanding the, all the halving, the reduction and new inflation on a schedule. It's the opposite of what I initially thought. And so from that point on, I think it was towards the end of 2015 into 2016, I just decided I was going to put 50% minimum of 50% of every dollar I made was going into Bitcoin. And then the ICO craze hit. And of course, just like everybody else, I think, I dove pretty heavily into that. And you know what? I made a lot of money. But then I also did what I like to call, and this is one of the reasons why I love the being a part of BitLab and being able to help build this community, is that I made a lot of money. And like a jackass, I lost the majority of it early on because I was making so much money, I knew all the answers. So because of that, I forgot risk management. Because of that, I forgot, trading just in an uptrend doesn't mean you're a trader. You got to go through an uptrend, a consolidation, a breakdown, you have to understand all those different levels if you're truly going to make money in this market, especially trading. And so, I decided during the global economic shutdown, let's just call it that, so we don't get any other flags from YouTube. The world shut down. I was living in New York. Nothing was going on. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to be somebody that has to go and play a festival to pay life's bills. And I know a pretty damn good amount about crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin and just the markets. So I decided that I was going to basically take a leap over, basically put the music stuff on hold. I can still do it as a passion, but it doesn't need to be professional. And I'm going to step into the basically the public side of crypto. And so I went over and I actually interned for Crypto Jeb back in August 2020, I believe it was. Okay. And after about 3 weeks, they're like, bro, we can't have you intern. And I ended up, helping shape that channel a little bit, and then ended up basically that contract ended, and then I basically free agented, sent out a message to Scott Melker and Dan Gambardello, and at that time the BitBoy Crypto crew, and I ended up basically jumping in here, and I was already building out an entire crypto education platform on the Crypto Jeb side. So when I came here, they say, hey, we have this thing that nobody's doing anything with. Do you want to take over BitLab? I was like, absolutely, because I had already written all these, basically a full curriculum, and I want to be here not to make money, because I'm going to make money. I want to be here to build community, and the more people we can help understand this market, we are so early in the space, every single one of us is going to be an exponential impact on our friends and family. So that's why I took that role, and this is where I'm at.
And I think you're a firm believer of what I'm about to say, just based off me, talking with you, is that when you do good and you put out good vibes and you're trying to help other people, those things really truly come back. So it's that kind of giving to others to receive back, and it's just this continual gift that I've found that to be a very powerful thing in the cryptocurrency community.
Well,
because there's some people are like, if you're such a successful trader, why are you teaching people and why are you taking time to do this? And it's like, there are some people that actually just really want to help people to understand these markets. Also knowing that that the regular people, the people, we've been kind of cheated in this whole entire rigged game. So the more that we can gamify the game to where it benefits us, the more it benefits us, the more it can benefit society.
I mean, I entirely agree. I kind of look at crypto, and not just crypto, but trading and investing in general is a great exemplification of how we are in our everyday life. If you get triggered emotionally all the time in the charts, I would suggest you probably get triggered emotionally in real life too, because there's a difference between feeling something emotional and acting in a reaction versus having that pause, the moment of pause. The best thing I've ever learned in life is, can you figure out how to find a pause, even if it's for a millisecond, so that you can respond to something, whether it's a person, a car cutting you off, a chart action, it doesn't matter. If you can respond, you can succeed. All of us fall off the path, but the more we react to stuff, the less good our life is. And furthermore, you talked about the energy, paying positive energy into things. I truly think that, and I mean this, yes, there are things that randomly happen and there are bad things. It's not your fault. However, 99% of the things that are frustrating in people's lives, if it's consistent, you're getting the energy that you're putting out into the world. So if people are frustrating in your city and these people are all bad, you are one of those bad people because you are putting that energy out. If you are a beacon of positivity and a beacon of wonder and a curiosity, and also, like you said, giving back,
Oh, I think we might have lost you. You froze up there for a second, so I'm gonna kind of talk here. If you got a moment, I think it's on your end too. Can you kill your notifications? Because you're like a busy man, and it's like dinging, dinging, dinging over there. So I'm hoping it's not bothering other people. And I apologize for asking.
I haven't heard.
I don't think it's on my end. But it's all, I mean, it's all good if you can't figure it out. But yeah, there was a second there, and I was just trying to fill the time because I kind of lost you. You're frozen up right at the moment. So what I will do is let people know, again, I have links down below for your X account, for your YouTube channel, for BitLab Academy, and also for bitlabacademy.com, which we can come back to here at the end of the conversation. Are you with me? If you need to kill your... temporarily need to kill your camera, that's fine, man, and we can do a screen share with the markets from your end if you're ready.
Can you hear me?
I can totally hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to close. I have like several charts open. I'll just close a couple charts and boom, boom, boom. Don't need that.
Okay. Again, I do appreciate everybody for taking the opportunity to tune in. We got some people that apparently have never seen my channel, Crypto Bad Fox. I appreciate you. Shout out to Alexandra G. Thank you for joining. Amy Liz Crypto's in the house, guys. Check out her YouTube channel. I want to get her on the channel for an interview. She's got some really good content. Very professional.
There, I think we should be all good. Can you hear me, see me, feel me?
I can hear you, see you. I just can't quite feel you. I mean, I don't know how we can work that out over the internet.
I'll give you a hug in Nashville in a couple of weeks.
I look forward to that. So if you're ready, my mouse is acting really funny. Okay, so if you're ready, I will go ahead and pull up your screen share.
Yeah, so let's, first things first.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to dissect these markets as much as possible. I'd love to get your thoughts and your feelings on what's going on. And it looks like you got Bitcoin pulled up first, which is probably the best place to start. So yeah, 100%. Thank you.
100%. Yeah. Bitcoin's, it's almost like it's the bellwether of what you're going to want to look at for.
It's leading the race.
Yeah, it's leading the race. And if there's a lot of bearishness in Bitcoin, the majority of the rest of the market's going to be very bearish as well. The problem I have right now is people look at this right here. If we zoom in on this, we go, oh my God. We look at this, we say it's a bear market.
Is this daily, hourly? Daily.
Well, yeah, this is a daily. This is just this consolidation range we're in. So when we zoom out on this, I mean, this is a massive bull trend, massive bull trend. I'm looking at the BLX, so the Bitcoin index of all the exchanges, right? So you're just getting the general view. This is a massive, but some people want to call it this is a funny thing I want to point out. Some people call this a bull flag. Other people say this is a double top. Other people will say, this is just a consolidation. We have to come to. There is no absolute in terms of what's going to happen in this market. All we can do is look at this market and understand on a basic general sense. We have a regularity of price interaction post halving, which is about, on the shortest back here in 2013 was about 45 days. But then the rest of these averages around 120 to 160 days, sideways price action post halving before we go up. Sideways price action with actually a fake out to the upside, fake out to the downside, then up. And so we're sitting at right now, I mean, we're in the most bullish setup we've ever seen post halving. Now there's a little bit of concern here, I will say, even though I'm incredibly bullish, because this looks like a bull flag and because we've all, always seen very positive price action post halving, doesn't mean this doesn't mean that we're unlikely to just get something that actually comes down and scoops something down here in the 50 to 53,000 range or even deeper. I think that's less of a probability, but we have to be aware that that is a possibility. Now, I'm quite a bit more bullish in this. Looking at what's happening right now, I want to point out, I have this chart here as well. This is looking at, you saw on the bottom, I have the hash ribbons. These hash ribbons basically show you when miners are basically not profitable and they're shutting off their machines. This tends to also coincide with some bearish selling pressure on the market. Now, the reason why I outline this on this chart going all the way back to the previous halving is each time the miners started flipping their machines back on and we got this buy signal, I outlined all of these. This one I did not count because this is in a bear market. We're talking about bullish trends. The average move post hash ribbon flipping buy is 121% to the upside post buy signal here. So considering that we've had the price action just consolidating in this range with some really beautiful levels, I mean, nothing has really been scary at all. If you really look at this, patiently, is that we're consolidating at a previous range all-time high, that $64,000 to $69,000 level. Yes, we deviated a bit above, but we also deviated a bit below. We're consolidating here. And so there's no reason to be really frustrated here, honestly, unless we really start breaking below 52,000. So as we sit here right now, I think we're actually starting to build the blocks to get this next impulse up to the upside. Now, this $65,000 level is going to be very important to clear. I actually covered this today on the BitLab stream, but this is very important to clear because we've got quite a bit of liquidity right at this zone directly above us, 63.5 up to about 64.5 We have all of this very bright color, which is basically a lot of short liquidity. They will get closed out if they hit that level. Now, that's also, where is it at? That's also even mirrored. I might have closed it. This right here.
What was that chart though? That weird wave. What was it? That's shorts and longs and things to that effect in the market?
Yeah, so this is a liquidation heat map. So you can see as price action moved up here, previously there was essentially short liquidation zones. Free liquidity, essentially, market makers can move the price towards to scoop up the liquidity. Scooped it, come back down, reset. Scoop it. See how this, once it clears this turns very dark blue. There's no more liquidity there. Scoops back down. Scoops all this liquidity. And then you notice how light this is, and this gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter as this goes across. It's because each time this is trying to come up and tap this, all these more shorts are piling in, more shorts are piling in, more shorts are piling in until ultimately we have this very hot zone here, which is, where is that chart? Right here. There's almost $1 billion in shorts between $63,000 and $65,000. And we can see this on the prices from 62, basically right at 63,000. Let's make I can't make it larger. Right about 63,000 up to 64.6. This is all of those liquidations that we're seeing all in this zone right in here. So if price action can push up and clear this would be a bit of a short squeeze, which would likely see price cut fairly easily through that $65,000 range, which I did not put this on the chart. I want everybody to realize this when I'm showing this. I did not put this on the chart because of this chart. I put this on the chart because there's a known level that we've been monitoring for about 2 months from the price action, basically finding support right here, finding support, having a little bit of resistance, finding support, having a little bit more support. So we map this out and we can see on this bounce here, if the price action does get up in here, not only have we already cleared those liquidity zones that we just talked about, but this would be a very good bullish metric if price action clears that liquidity, which is roughly about right here, finds any resistance here and pushes up. I think it's going to move quite quickly up here into this $70,000 range, which I would argue is somewhat more important than this 74, because this has been this trend line from this top to this top to this top to this top goes right in this zone right there. So 70,000 I think is going to be, which is interesting because this would also mark the previous range all-time high of the last cycle when we come back over here, right in the zone, this $69,000 to $70,000 region. So this zone that we're looking at in this 70,000 mark would be effectively starting the signal for the bulls to truly take off. Now, if the price action slices through this, I want people to realize, I don't think it's going to break through this and just go straight up. I think this level, this $70,000 level, is going to be the first very important bullish break, right? And if we break through that, I still expect to have some resistance at 74, consolidate somewhere in the 71 to 72,000 region, and then we get that leg to the upside. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin at the moment.
Okay, now what you just said is more of a short-term outlook, and I'm at a question mark. And if so, like, what time frame are you looking at with that?
Well, I'm looking at, let's get a little bit cleaner chart here. I'm looking at
the reason I ask is because we have, as you're cleaning up, the reason I ask is that we have the Mt. Gox coins being released and people being in that sell pressure, potentially people selling at the price. U.S. government apparently has a shit ton of Bitcoin that they've sent to exchanges. Wall Street's got this narrative that they're pushing on the mainstream news outlets about the 40K price. You got Peter Thiel talking absolute shit about Bitcoin, pushing this narrative to kind of push down. And I feel like the sell in May, walk away tradition got delayed, got pushed off to June. And I feel as if we still have a little bit more bleeding, and towards the end of the month, hitting towards the Bitcoin conference, we should be hitting some upward action. And then August, I'm looking at more upward momentum, and then taking off more into the election time period, and maybe seeing a top somewhere before the end of the year. That's just my opinion on just for the remainder of the year, but I was trying to get your time frame based off the Mt. Gox stuff, the 40K narrative, the sell in May, walk away getting delayed, and going up around the Bitcoin conference time period, the 25th, which is about 3 weeks from today, roughly.
Well, let's go ahead and mark that out on the chart. So we got July 31st, I have marked out right here, which would be, if we're looking at this, if this is a, almost more of a pennant, the traditional spot, a breakout of a chart formation like this is somewhere about 70% of the way through, which would roughly be around this, Bitcoin Bitcoin conference, 24th to the 30th. I have a feeling like we're going to be getting some bullish action going into around July 12th to July 15th timeframe. But what a lot of people don't realize is somebody's saying, when we talk about bullish action or bearish action, we have to determine the time frame, right? Because yes, has this been a bearish trend? Yes, but it's a bearish retracement and a macro bullish trend. Similarly, if we're talking about this price action that we see right here, we can have a bullish impulse up into 70,000. Because we get there does not mean it's going to break out, right? Because we've already rejected at it here, here. So if we push up, I do see an instance that we get some bullish action potentially, this not in a straight line, but something like this, and pull back a little bit towards around the Bitcoin conference, and then potentially hold that 50% sort of zone right here of this pattern, and then break out into August. That would be great. Now remember, if we did that, even from where we're at right now, I mean, that's a 12% move which is that's a pretty substantial move just to get from where we're at to this upper basically line of resistance, which has proven to be pretty strong resistance. And it's also going to mark. I think this is what market makers see and smart money. When we break out of this zone, it's the hype is gonna come back really quick, and this is gonna be minimal hype preceding when the true retail flood comes in, because we've had almost no new retail hype come in. This is all people that are been in the markets for, a year and a half or more, as well as, new institutional players coming in. But the question is going to be, what happens once we clear 70 and 74? At what point, and I'm curious what your thought is, at what point between, 70 and 74 or beyond, do we actually start seeing that new retail flood of adoption coming in? Because when that happens, I think that's when we're really going to start getting opportunities for those God candles people talk about. But I do see there's some work to be done just to get to this level. I don't think we're going to break through it the first time. So your assessment, I think, is kind of in the ballpark of what I'm thinking.
Okay. I mean, and I'm not a TA guy. I'm just basing this off of just events and what's happening. And we have the election coming up, so I don't see anything too terrible happening economically. I believe they're just going to coat over everything as much as possible, try to make everything look as good as possible, and then maybe 2025 is when things kind of start getting rough, in my opinion. Now, it was Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House, that wrote an article, I think in the New York Times. It was an opinion piece, and he's talking about stable coins and the U.S. dollar and remaining dominant and useful as far as an international way because of the stable coins and potentially all this money coming into the market. Also, the ETFs, the thing about the ETFs is a lot of the ETFs has been primarily retail and individual investors. We haven't seen institutions yet truly get involved. So, I mean, I still feel like once that takes place, we're going to have trillions of dollars coming into the market. And once we get that kind of money coming into the market and we start breaking above 74, to me, it's like any man's guess at that point, because people could be wisening up as to we need a hedge against fiat.
Well, I think what I try to frame my thought around this is that there's early adopters of Bitcoin and crypto, and that you can argue at what point is which, but I think anybody at this point, when we look 15 years from now, look back, anybody that was involved in crypto, Bitcoin and crypto in any regard prior to January 10th of this year, we're the early adopters, because you're there before institutions. We're now we just started the next wave of early adopters, which is stage 2, which is institutions getting involved. Now, we have seen some pretty amazing metrics. I think it was 940 or 900 and something institutions bought the Bitcoin spot ETF in the first quarter of this year. What's going to be interesting is throughout this month, when we get the various earnings reports and the different corporate treasury reports that come out, to see how many of those has that trend continued, or is that slowing down? If it goes from 1,000 to the second quarter, we have 2,000 or 3,000, or maybe the first quarter was the super aggressive institutions. Maybe we see minimal institutions for the next 2 quarters, and then it goes parabolic next year. There's no way for us to know that at the moment. If I had to guess, I would think based on price action and looking at ETF flows that the institutional adoption rate of how many institutions have bought probably slowed down in Q2, and that's okay. You get that initial wave, you get a little bit of the pullback on all that info, and then a huge push out of that. Now, what the reason why this is important is because now that we saw their report of the 950 or whatever institutions that did get Bitcoin spot ETFs on their balance sheets, and now we see Michael Dell reviving his conversations around this. We also see some major players in the traditional asset realm also talking about this on a daily basis. and the fact that we see companies like not Mass Mutual, they're out of business. What's that? Not Morgan Stanley? I think it's Morgan Stanley that is now basically pushing for their registered investment advisors to start being able to push ETFs as a product. So we have not seen that wave of the actual salesmanship because remember, now Bitcoin is set up as a financial product in the traditional asset realm. Well, those traditional asset managers, BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, and then you go all the way down the list of all the other major JP Morgan Chase, et cetera. There's so many different Morgan Stanley investment advisors that can now make money on that next new technology to push, that new product to push. And when we start seeing that wave come in, I think it'll likely be towards maybe middle end of Q3, but into 2025, I think we're going to see, yes, we need so much more capital because the market cap's larger, but the amount of capital that just all of a sudden has access to this space, I don't want to use the word super cycle, but I think this cycle we will likely see larger gains than we saw in the previous cycle. And that is probably going to be the last opportunity to see that. I think it'll be diminishing returns after this cycle.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And I like Marty Party music. What is this thing that because I can't quite see it with my 49-year-old eyes.
Yeah, so I mean, you were just mentioning, stable coins, but then also there's a debate about a lot of stuff. But this starts that process you were just talking about. I shared this today as well. USDC and EURC are legal tokens in the European Union today. So this was yesterday. Why is this so important? This is the first time ever in history of crypto or a blockchain token has been declared basically declared legal in a sovereign jurisdiction. This is the end of stage one where crypto was tolerated and the start of stage two where crypto becomes legal tender. So this is just showing some of those dominoes are starting to fall. We've seen El Salvador. We see Argentina starting to have more positive discussions around it. Bolivia. We have, obviously Turkey has a great reason to get involved with Bitcoin with their mass inflation happening there. But now European Union starting to soften up on their stance of basically starting to have regulatory clarity around different assets that are in this space. I mean, the best is only yet to come. And we all get so frustrated on a 15-day downtrend. It's like, guys, take every downtrend as an opportunity, man.
Well, the EU, I think, has said something about wanting to create something digital to also avoid a Google, Facebook, or PayPal dollar and things to that effect. This is that article from Winston-Salem Journal. You got to pay to be able to read the entire article, but I've got like a picture of it where I can read from the actual, somebody took a picture of the actual newspaper, but he was talking about crypto could stave off a U.S. debt crisis. A stable coins backed by dollars provide demand for U.S. public debt and a way to keep up with China. And it's a really interesting explanation. And if it was to be utilized by the U.S. government, it would benefit the crypto market because there would just be trillions of dollars coming in.
Dude, so
very similar to what you were saying with the EU.
Yeah, well, yeah. The next paragraph. The Marty Party is great. For anybody not following him, make sure you follow him. It's Marty Party Music. It says billions of stablecoins will be minted in the EU, and the pressure will push stablecoin regulation in the U.S. and other jurisdictions. This is the interesting part. Once regulated in the U.S., trillions of digital dollars will be minted, backed by U.S. Treasuries and U.S. debt, monetizing the U.S. debt, and this value will find its way into the digital asset ecosystem, ushering in that road to $1 million Bitcoin. And This is what, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head there. I think regulators are starting to not regulators, administrators, government administrators the world over I think that huge wave of just negative mainstream press and starting to see other major players in the world capital ecosystem, that window, I think that domino has fallen. It's flipped to the other side now to where people are starting to realize we need to pay attention to this. And people are going to start getting educated very quickly. And we're going to start seeing integrations in a way we couldn't even imagined. And all of it's going to basically drive, I don't want to just say buying pressure, but drive utility. That's the important thing. Yeah. Drive real utility that the governments can get behind. And when that happens, I mean, I'd rather be in before the government gets involved than after.
And I would definitely say that, you know, for all the people that had like the Tether FUD and stuff like that, that should be gone. I mean, Tether and USDC has worked with US government officials, FBI, CIA. They've frozen people's accounts. It's programmable currency as it is. So it doesn't need to be a central bank digital currency because USDC and USDT act as the same. It's just another word for programmable currency, however you want to put it. CBDC, stablecoin, digital dollar, is programmable. But the interesting thing is, because of all the things that are happening on a macroeconomic level, like a lot of uneducated people are talking about the petrodollar, thinking that this is like some big deal. But I discovered talking with Blood that the U.S. is now the largest oil producer. We don't need to rely upon Saudi Arabia. Like things are shifting and changing. So this is, and because of what's happening with the BRICS nation, which is going to take quite some time, and the fact that you have sovereign nations selling off treasuries, U.S. debt, Tether is backing up a lot of what they do, including USDC, with treasuries. So if we start seeing this take, and I never thought about it benefiting the government, but it does benefit the government because it's buying the debt and it's monetizing that debt and it's putting more digital dollars, US dollars, into circulation, which allows for the dollar to still remain relevant. There was a tracker that I had. Let me see if I can pull it up super quick. Yeah, it's a dollar dominance tracker from Atlantic Council. They also have a really cool CBDC tracker as well, monitor tracker, but this is for dollar dominance, and it's talking about the dollar dominance in trade. So we still have 58% of share of the global foreign exchange reserves. We have 54% of the share of export invoicing, and 88% share of foreign exchange transactions. So
do they have that graphed out rather than just the current standing? Because that would be interesting to see over the last, since the 70s. It'd be interesting to see that sort of oscillation in dominance.
There is a bunch of different charts here. I can send you a copy of the link so you can check it out. And see if it has like any of the relevant information that you're looking. This is talking about BRICS members stacking gold. It gives a lot of really, really interesting information. It may not be all the specific trackers that you're looking at, but it's explaining how the dollar is not going to necessarily lose its dominance as quickly as a lot of these uneducated individuals are saying.
I know some people are like, it's going to happen in 10 years. I'm like, it's not going to happen in our lifetime. Will we see dominance go down? Sure. But, and some people think they think Bitcoin is going to replace the dollar. Let's talk about it in our lifetime, because that's what we're trading right now. I do think that the dominance of Bitcoin, especially if we look at the dominance of Bitcoin globally and global finance, it wouldn't even be recognizable on the chart. It'd be so small currently. But I do think that it's going to eat up, not the lion's share, but it's going to make incredible strides in terms of how much it grows. But I don't think Bitcoin is going to replace the dollar, nor do I think necessarily it should. I do think, though, as an American, but also as a human on this planet, I do think that we should have freedom of the money and things that basically are value. And I think, it makes sense for it to run in parallel and you use them for different types of things. Now, I'm not going to save in dollars. You're out of your mind. I keep less than $100 in cash in my bank account.
I'm not going to buy my cannabis with Bitcoin either.
Yeah.
Might as well smoke my sat. So, yeah. Do you mind taking a look before we wrap things up? Because I am being respectful of your time. We've got about roughly 20 minutes. Do you mind if we go over at least the Ethereum and Solana charts and kind of get like a gauge on what's happening in those two?
Yes, absolutely. There's something I wanted to. I appreciate you, man. I wanted to pull up this before we go on to Ethereum, and that is.
The last thing is, do you see Bitcoin hitting all-time highs and ending the cycle this year? Do you see it going into next year? Because I've heard some people saying the end of 2025, and it's always in a Q4. If you look at all the all-time highs for the end of cycles, not what we just experienced this year, has been in Q4. But this time is different. As much as people like say that, keep saying it really is different.
Because of what I said before about the capital channels, we have.
Breaking up. Yep. You broke up on me, brother. You're going all robot on me.
I don't know.
if you want, just for this portion of the video, like I said, maybe if you try killing your camera, just stopping the camera on the StreamYard, maybe it'll alleviate. Can I hear you?
Check,
Can you
check,
hear me?
check.
Yeah, see,
Checking.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And we can just go back on that chart and go full screen and take our faces off and talk about this shit.
Yeah. So
Smash
So
that like
what I was
button,
going to
please.
say is because we got the registered investment advisors that are probably going to start pushing more towards this, third quarter into fourth quarter. I think that I do think it's going to be probably sometime after July of next year to have the all-time high, but we're going to have to monitor this because it is a new cycle. And I just wanted to share this really quick before we jump to Ethereum. People are worried
After
about
July
this drop
of next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool. So you're not seeing it this year. I'm just. That's why I'm curious.
No, wait.
'cause
You're
I feel
talking
like
about the
next
all-time
year's
high?
gonna-
Or are you talking about when we break
Yeah,
the
like
previous
you know,
all-time
like
high?
when like when we hit the all-time high and we start going down, which would be technically considered the beginning of the bear market, which usually like right when we see alt season.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
But
I
this
think
time could be completely different. I don't know. I just feel like next year is just going to be fucking chaos, man. Like all this recession talk is catching up. Like we're prolonging it, but it's going to catch up. And recession is not going to be positive for any markets.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. This is why we monitor this on a daily basis, right?
True that.
But I just wanted to share this, and then we'll look at Ethereum. Everybody's worried about this move to the downside, and I talked about this on yesterday's BitLab stream. I titled that stream "Double Trap," and that was because we had the CME futures closed down on Friday. The market moved up during the weekend, and so we have this big ass gap here. Boom, right here. And so seeing the price action coming back, this is a fake out to the upside. Now, is this a fake out to the downside? I do think that this will likely come down at some point this week and clear this gap and then relieve this pressure to continue moving to the upside. So I'm not worried about the small little pullback for ants, as Ben Stiller would say. In terms of Ethereum is kind of interesting to me because it has this pretty large broadening wedge here that has been playing out. And on this next impulse up that we had starting May 20th, we couldn't even get back above this midway line here. And although we have the Ethereum spot ETF likely coming, remember what happened January 10th and January 11th? We had a momentary impulse to the upside on Bitcoin. Then we had, a week or two downward price action. So just because the ETF actually goes live doesn't mean Ethereum is going to pump immediately.
Right.
In fact, because we have the pattern suggesting a breakdown, rising broadening wedges tend to break to the downside. And we're seeing some weakness in here. I wouldn't rule out opportunity. I wouldn't rule out an opportunity to scoop up some Ethereum down here in the basically $3,000 to $3,100 range, which I think would be an excellent opportunity. May it go lower? Sure, but I'm not going to hold out to hope it goes all the way down to 28 and not get any. This is why you ladder a few entries if you're going to do that. But this would ultimately be a good, healthy reset and then have that move to the upside. If Ethereum is able to hold above this $3,200, $3,300 level, even where it's at right now, pull back here or even where it's at. What I'm really watching is for a move back above 3,600 because this is this trend line right here that if we kind of push this out, notice that this descending resistance line intersects with this horizontal support in basically chop channel. So this is where I'd be watching 35, 3,600. If this doesn't just get rejected and come back down, if we're able to push above this, I do think that the next move that we're really paying attention to is going to be up here about $3,900, $4,000. And I'm very bullish on Ethereum. I think it's actually, we could see it in the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, it shows Ethereum has been performing rather weak for quite some time. This is a weekly chart. So this right here was September 5th, 2022. So we are 651 days in this downtrend channel.
A lot of things are down against Bitcoin though, when you really look at it.
But that's okay. This is the setup for that move to the upside. Now, the interesting thing is look at this trend line. This is a multi-year trend line back to December 2016. Support, support, support. And look at this. We had support right here until the price action was lost. It came back up. It did reject initially, but this is looking like it's Ethereum's trying to get this move, instigated to get back above this 0.057, 0.058. Let's just call it 0.06. And I do think that once we start seeing that, we'll start seeing the rest of the altcoin market buoy quite well as well. Now, looking at Solana has got this beautiful macro sort of bull pennant-ish kind of setup, looking kind of lopsided, is leaning a little bit. So what I'd like to say about this is we do have this beautiful pennant, boom, boom, boom. And we have broken out of this smaller time frame, descending, broadening wedge. We not only broke out, we came back, confirmed the breakout, and now have cleared this high. Coming right into, I mean, this is a target I drew like a week ago, right into this 152, 153 range. The next level, if this is able to clear this, we're looking at basically a pretty staunch resistance here in the 170 range because of this massive descending resistance level. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but just you don't want to front run right here because you think it's about to run away and do 30x leverage only to have it reject, and then you get liquidated because you weren't using good risk management. If this were to break this, wait for whatever pullback is, and then you trade that move right there. If you're not already riding this wave as it is. If this does reject anywhere in here and come back down, I'd really like to see it on the bullish side hold above this 140 range as it is. But I'm feeling good about Solana, and I just want to point out, I don't know where, let me see if my camera works again. I wanted to point out somebody, Taco here from DGen Alpha shared a beautiful Twitter post, and I don't know who it was by, or otherwise I bring it up, but about this discussion about meme coins and function. There's actually more function than I think people realize. And in Solana's case, some people want to dog on Solana because there's so many different meme coins that get launched on Solana. Many get rugged. There's been like a couple million meme coins in the past like 7 months that have launched because we have pump.fun. We have, I mean, the DGen easy access is so quick. Now, the interesting thing about this, if you are a Solana investor, trader, or somebody who just might be interested in it, is all of these different meme coins that when they launch, the majority of them have some sort of liquidity or lock liquidity or burn liquidity. Therefore, all of these coins that have been launched have actually functionally made Solana deflationary because there's more tokens getting locked up in those liquidity pools that can never be accessed than there is Solana tokens that are being printed. I think it's like 10,000 tokens a day or something like that. There's, exponentially more than that getting locked and burned in these liquidity pools. So there's an interesting consideration there that I never even thought of.
Neither am I. Thanks for pointing that out. I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan of projects that have a lot of centralization. I know that there's a time and a place, but it seems as if the markets have spoken. And if I'm looking at ways of increasing my sats, investing in Solana is a good way of doing that. So, in my opinion.
All that to say, I don't own
just
any
based
Solana.
based off even looking at some of this, hearing what you're saying, hearing what other people are saying. I mean, people are talking about an easy 10x from here once we start hitting into the altcoin season.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, I should have showed this chart. We have to
financial advice.
We have to realize also that. Let me double click here. We have to realize that this is the total 3. Okay, let's go to the 3-day chart. Bitcoin's already been consolidating at its previous all-time high for quite some time. The altcoin market currently, look at how far the altcoin market is from its previous all-time high. 86% move just to get to the previous all-time high.
Wow.
And so I do think that altcoins are still going to have this is, similar to like this consolidation here. Because if we look at this is, okay, that's 150. So let's take a similar, so this is about 70%. From this move, when this broke out, the total 3 went up another 437%. So what I want everybody to realize is this doesn't mean some altcoins are going to go 400%. This means there's going to be some altcoins that do 13,000%, some that fail. This is a mixed bag. This is why
some that don't even hit their all-time highs again.
But those projects that you're looking at that you can see on DeFi Llama or, TVL, whatever different metrics you're pulling, there's going to be some major moves coming to the altcoin market very soon. So much so that, where's this chart at? Right here. This is from Moustache. This is the total 3. Actually, this is the total minus the top 10 coins. And every time this has come down and touched this line, and this is a multi-year trend line now, this has marked a truly strong impulse in the altcoins in the market. And this is, again, all those altcoins that's below the top 10 market cap. And, we saw this also, a little baby one, 2023. But I do think that we're going to be more like back here in 2021 or 2020. We've got a lot of room to grow. Let's be patient. Let's not be frustrated on a 2-week pullback and a bull trend. If you're frustrated, realize that there's probably opportunity there, and all you have to do to see it is zoom out or tune into Rice or tune into BitLab. We'll keep you on track.
Keep you on track, man. I do appreciate you taking time to explain all this. It's good to, I know me and you have talked and I've gotten to know you a little bit more personally, but it's good for other people to kind of gauge a little bit, because the way that you answered that question in the beginning is, I was going to ask you, were you creating content? Because I didn't know you were involved with Crypto Jeb. So I was going to ask, if you were involved in creating content prior to joining Hit Network and then taking over BitLab and what led to that. But you answered all that in the very beginning. So I appreciate that. And I'm definitely looking forward to coming on BitLab Academy. We'll definitely coordinate something with you, or something for either next week or the week after, whichever works for the two of us. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Nashville. I'm going to have links down below for your X account, for BitLab Academy YouTube channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. And I'm going to have links for bitlabacademy.com. Do you want to take a moment and share what it is that you guys are offering over at bitlabacademy.com?
Yeah, and I appreciate being here and chatting with you and talking with your audience as well. I'm looking forward to having you on. I think with BitLab Academy, essentially what we have, there's several different what's the word I'm looking for? Offerings that we have out there. The most basic one is our Discord, where we've got, it's like 20,000 Discord members, a bunch of different experts that we have in there as well. It's not just me. We've got different voices, chart requests, member streams, but then we also have the full crypto course as well. And there's actually a deal we have going on right now. So people can, it's basically 15 days free, half month free. It was a Bitcoin halving special, half month free, but then it's like 33% off for the life of your account after that. You just head over to lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal and you get that. It's again, it's lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. I'll throw it in the live chat here. But yeah, everybody's welcome to join there. And it's all for me. I like having a positive corner on the internet, sharing, meaningful tools, resources, and community, so we can grow together. Because we have to address something you said earlier. People do ask the question, if you're making money as a trader and investor, why the hell would you be spending your time doing this? Because I retired at 19 from the military. I spent 1.5 years not doing a damn thing. And I realized very quick, life has no meaning if you have no goals. And it's no meaning if you have nobody that you're helping. You have to work towards things that matter to you. And if they matter to you, help other people understand those things so that they can dominate in those fields as well. That's why I'm doing this. And the more of you all that make money, the better this entire crypto ecosystem does. So you could argue, like Sigmund Freud would say, me helping you helps me make more money as well, because this means all of us are, the rising tide raises all ships. And I just want to have, positive impact on the space and make sure people realize that everything you're feeling in this market is a signal about what's going on in your life as well. So if you're having trouble managing your emotions in the charts, figure out how to get outside, hug a tree, ask yourself what you're feeling. What can I do to be better? I am not a victim. I have control of the things that I'm doing in my life. What can I do to take steps towards that? That's what this is about.
I love it, dude. I love it. And I got the link, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. So it's right there. Got it pulled up on screen. Something that you said I wanted to touch on. So one of the reasons I want to see a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space thrive, not only because it changes people's lives, is because a lot of people in the cryptocurrency community are trying to evangelize for crypto, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever the case might be. And by a lot of people becoming wealthy, having extra income, being able to help others, kind of almost in the name of evangelizing crypto as well, brings more attention and to what the cryptocurrency space is about, and it really allows for us to be the change that we want to see in the world. Because I've heard so many different people in crypto that talk about if they were able to obtain X amount of wealth, what they would do with it. And a lot of it always is like impacting their community or something to that effect, whether or not locally or creating some sort of business that gives back to others in whatever situation it might be. I just see a lot of that in the crypto space. So I think the more people that have that wealth, it helps us to change the world and change the concept of what wealth actually is.
Yeah, I don't want to be a slave to needing to make money to do the things I want to do. I want to impact my ability to free up time in my future so I can spend that time with how I want to do it, and also help get my mom a house, get my sister a house, set up my nephew, which I've already started a small DCA fund. And I've told other people this as well, a small DCA fund that I put into Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's going to probably pay for his college. And I told a friend of mine who has kids, I said, they were asking about the veracity of Bitcoin and crypto as a potential investment. And I talked about the impact to changing the outcomes of our future. And I told them, I said, you're probably going to, if you want to send your kid to college and they're not on scholarship, what I've seen in my lifetime is college went from 84 till now, college went from an average of about, $2,000 to $150,000. That's a pretty damn big exponential increase. So if you're saving now and you're looking at that same sort of rate of change, that means you're probably going to have to save $300,000 to $600,000 at minimum to send your son or daughter to school. What if you, even if this didn't cover all of college, what if you set aside $150 a month or a week or whatever, and just put it into a crypto college fund, Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, whatever, maybe just Bitcoin. In the 20 years time that you did that, you would probably invest an exponential smaller amount of money out of your pocket, and the exponential rise in this market as it grows will more than not only cover their college, probably buy them a house also.
You ever seen this website, dcabtc.com?
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful website. I mean, so if you were to, and this is going back in the past, but if you were to do that $150 a month starting 3 years ago and going through all this, you would have invested $5,400. It would be worth $11,220 today, which would be 107.78% increase in value. From 3 years ago, just investing $150 a month. That's the power of dollar cost averaging.
So I was going to say do 18 years, and then I realized Bitcoin is not 18 years old. If we go back 9, yeah,
16,000. That's worth like almost 600,000.
Yeah. So it's my point. It's like we can put our money to work for us if we spend our money in spots that can serve us. Hamburgers and movies and trips, those are all things that you're going to want to do periodically. But if that is what's dominating your spending, then I think of it this way. Every dollar I spend now that I don't need to spend, I think of it's like I'm stealing $10,000 for myself, every single dollar, because of the exponential growth possibility that is in this space. So, I mean, I'm very excited about being here. I'm excited for every single one of you that's watching, that you are ahead of the curve. Also, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding Rice's bell because he's got such a great community here. You can ding my bell.
Appreciate you, my friend. You got any final thoughts, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Buy Bitcoin. Pick a couple altcoins and be patient enough to hold. From right now, I think if you can plan on holding a minimum of 12 months, you're gonna reduce the amount of tax burden you're gonna have. 1, but 2, we're just getting to that window now that's gonna become harder. But if you buy anything now, ignore the noise, let it ride 12 to 16 months. Wash, rinse, repeat next cycle.
Amen. Appreciate it, man. Well, thank you again for your time. I'll definitely get in touch with you about coordinating coming on your channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and the whole crew over in Nashville, my friend.
Yes, sir. Me too, and I appreciate it.
I'm going to wrap up the stream, and as soon as I'm done with the stream, I got to go run a few errands, so I'll be in touch. I'll text you my number on Twitter so you can get in touch with me on X, and we can keep the conversation going from there. So
wonderful.
Thank you again, my friend. I appreciate you joining.
Thank you, my friend.
Take care, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in for today's live stream. I greatly appreciate it. I will have links down below in the video description for BitLab Academy's YouTube channel, website, and make sure you're following Kelly over on the X. I got those links down below. Make sure you're following me. Make sure you're subscribed. Sign up for my mailing list at ricetvx.com, and make sure you're getting your Bitcoin 2020. I can't even talk right now. Bitcoin 2024 conference tickets, because the price of all tickets are going up. Friday, you get 10% off using my affiliate link in the video description. I'll have it in the pinned comment, and you can use the discount code RICE to get 10% off ticket prices. All ticket prices, including the General Access Festival Pass, is going up Friday. So get your tickets now, and I will see you in Nashville. And we're going to go ahead and ride out the video with that awesome hip-hop track that was created by Seth from Mind Your Biz. But before we do that, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're watching on X, please take an opportunity to repost to get more eyes on this live stream. Boy.
Rice TVX, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, Rice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he stores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
I encourage you, as always, to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch you want to see in this major. Be the change you want to see in this world. Question everything and know yourself.
Knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice the Pitbull, breaking the chain.
Thank you for giving me your time today, for giving me and Kelly your time, because time is our most valuable asset.
In the arena where truths collide, Rice TVX, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom lights paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hot dude. Spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Hot dude.
No, like